Assessment is a crucial element in the educational process, and effective planning can lead to significant improvements in student learning outcomes and help educators determine how well students understand the material and how effectively they can apply their knowledge. This video will examine Chapter 7 of Understanding by Design by authors Grant Wiggins and Jay McTighe, and how they emphasize the importance of thinking like an assessor when designing learning assessments. This chapter provides valuable insights for educators aiming to create meaningful assessments that truly reflect student understanding and skills. This video will explore 3 fundamental questions of assessment, the concepts of authentic tasks, the GRASP framework for performance tasks, and using the 6 facets of assessment blueprints to establish goals and creating effective learning objectives. In addition to designing learning assessments, Wiggins and McTighe incorporate with Chapter 8 of their book how criteria and validity are fundamental concepts that ensure the effectiveness and reliability of assessments. This video will also delve into what these terms mean and why they are essential in education. We also see in today's educational landscape digital tools and apps that have become essential for assessing student learning. These technologies not only streamline the assessment process, but also enhance engagement and provide valuable data for educators. This video will explore a variety of existing digital tools and apps that are currently available for learning assessment. At the heart of Wiggins and McTighe's philosophy is the idea that assessments should not merely serve as a means to assign grades. Instead, assessments should be tools for learning and understanding. They stress the importance of aligning assessments with learning objectives. This alignment ensures that what students are being assessed on directly relates to what they've been taught. By doing so, educators can provide students with relevant feedback that informs their learning journey. Wiggins and McTighe outline several characteristics that make assessment effective. Assessment should have a clear purpose and goals that are communicated to students. This clarity helps students understand what is expected of them and why the assessment is important. Effective assessments often mirror real-world tasks. This approach allows students to apply their knowledge and skills in authentic situations, fostering deeper understanding and engagement. Utilizing diverse assessment formats, such as projects, tests, and presentations, can cater to different learning styles and provide a more comprehensive view of student understanding. Assessment should include opportunities for feedback. This feedback is essential for guiding students in their learning process, allowing them to reflect on the performance and make necessary adjustments. Wiggins and McTighe propose 3 essential questions that educators should ask when assessing student performance. What should students know and be able to do? This question focuses on the essential knowledge and skills students must acquire. It encourages educators to clarify learning objectives and ensure they align with educational standards. How will we know if they have learned it? This question emphasizes the need for clear assessment, criteria, and methods. Educators must determine how to measure student understanding effectively using various assessment tools and strategies. What will we do if they don't learn it? This question addresses the importance of responsive teaching. If students struggle to grasp the material, educators must have strategies in place to provide additional support, ensuring that all students can achieve the intended learning outcomes. Authentic tasks are assignments that reflect real-world challenges and require students to apply their knowledge and skills in meaningful ways. These tasks go beyond traditional assessments by engaging students in activities that mimic professional practices. Authentic tasks allow students to connect classroom learning to real-life scenarios, develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and demonstrate their learning in diverse and creative ways. For example, rather than taking a standard test on historical events, students might conduct a project where they create a documentary or present a debate on the significance of those events. Students could use project-based learning, where they work on a project to address real-world problems. For instance, a group could design a community garden to learn about ecosystems, biology, and teamwork. They would present their project to community members showcasing their learning and application of skills. Students could compile a portfolio of their work over a semester or year, including essays, projects, and reflections. This allows for a comprehensive view of their learning journey and growth over time. Portfolios can be shared in conferences with teachers, parents, or peers. They could partake in simulations that replicate real-life scenarios where students must make decisions based on their knowledge. For example, a simulation of a business environment can allow students to understand economic and entrepreneurship while developing critical thinking skills. Similar to SMART-Goals, GRASPS is an acronym that helps educators design performance tasks that are purposeful and engaging. It stands for goal, what's the objective of the task? Role, what role will the student assume? Audience, who is the audience for the task? Situation, what's the context or scenario for the task? Product, what will the student produce? Standards, what criteria will be used to evaluate the task? Using the GRASP framework ensures performance tasks are well structured and aligned with the learning objectives, making assessment more relevant and effective. In Chapter 7 of their book, Wiggins and McTighe use the example of implementing GRASPs in science. The goal is to design an experiment to determine which 4 brands of detergent will most effectively remove 3 types of stains on cotton fabric. The student's role is a scientist. Their audience is the testing department for Consumer Research magazine. The situation is a 2-part challenge to develop the experiment and to clearly communicate the procedure so it can be reproduced by the testing department. The product is a written experimental procedure outlining the steps, and the standard is to follow the criteria for good design accurately and completely, appropriately isolate key variables, and have a clear and accurate description of the procedure. Using GRASP can help provide students with clarity of why and how as they take on a performance task. Effective assessment and learning strategies are crucial for student success. Just as the GRASP framework helps educators design assessments and deepen understanding, the 6 facets of understanding from Chapter 4 of Understanding by Design can help do the same. Both approaches encourage critical thinking and promote a comprehensive understanding of content. While the GRASP framework helped teachers to create assessments that are meaningful and engaging for students, the 6 facets provide a comprehensive view of what it means to truly understand a concept. These facets include explanation. Can the student explain their reasoning? Interpretation. Can they interpret information and apply it? Application. Are they able to apply their knowledge in new situations? Perspective. Can they view issues from different perspectives? Empathy. Can they express understanding and empathy for different viewpoints? And self-knowledge. Are students aware of their strengths and weaknesses in learning? By incorporating these facets into assessments, educators can gain a comprehensive view of student understanding and facilitate deeper learning. When combined, the GRASP framework and 6 facets of understanding create powerful learning experiences. Educators can design assessments that not only measure knowledge, but also encourage students to think critically and creatively. By incorporating these frameworks into lesson plans, teachers can foster an environment where students are motivated and prepared for real-world challenges. Understanding and applying GRASPs in the 6 facets can enhance the learning experience, making education more relevant and impactful for students. Together, they provide a roadmap for assessing and fostering deep understanding in a dynamic educational landscape. In education, criteria are essential because they provide a clear framework for what is expected from students in their learning and assessments. Criteria outline specific elements that students must demonstrate to show their understanding of a subject. This clarity helps both educators and students. For educators, it guides the design of assessments and learning activities. For students, it sets measurable goals and helps them understand what they need to focus on to succeed. Criteria also enhance fairness in evaluation. By providing a set of standardized expectations, all students are assessed on the same basis, which reduces biases that might arise from subjective judgments. Additionally, clear criteria are vital for aligning assessments with the learning objectives, ensuring that evaluations truly reflects student understanding of the material. Moving from criteria to a rubric involves a systematic process of breaking down the criteria into specific, observable, and measurable components. A rubric is essentially a tool that translates the general criteria into distinct levels of performance. Start by defining the essential criteria that students must meet. For example, if the goal is to assess a writing assignment, criteria might include clarity of argument, organization, and use of evidence. Next, determine the levels of performance for each criteria. These levels can range from beginning to exemplary, with descriptions of what each level entails. Write clear descriptors for each performance level under each criterion. This step transforms general expectations into specific, actionable statements that guide student work and evaluation. By constructing a rubric, educators create a comprehensive tool that enhances transparency and provides students with a roadmap for success. Rubrics are powerful tools for assessment because they provide structured feedback, clear criteria for evaluating student work. When using rubrics to assess understanding, educators can employ the following strategies. Informative assessments using rubrics during the learning process to provide ongoing feedback to students. This will allow students to understand their progress and make necessary adjustments before final submission. With summative assessments, at the end of an assignment or unit, rubrics help educators make holistic evaluations of student work. By using the rubric, teachers can assess how well students have met the established criteria. In regard to self-assessment, encourage students to use rubrics to evaluate their own work. This practice fosters self-reflection and helps students take ownership of their learning. Peer assessment is another place rubrics can be used. Rubrics can be used for evaluations, enabling students to learn from one another and gain insights into different perspectives on quality work. So how do we ensure validity? Validity refers to the extent to which an assessment measures what is intended to measure. To ensure validity, educators can take several steps. Ensure assignments align closely with the learning objectives. This alignment guarantees that the assessments accurately reflect the goals of the curriculum. Conduct pilot tests of assessments to gather data on their effectiveness. Feedback from these tests can help refine criteria and rubrics. Seek input from colleagues and experts to evaluate the relevance of appropriateness of the criteria used in assignments. Regularly review and update assessments based on student performance data and evolving educational standards. By focusing on validity, educators ensure that their assessments are not only fair, but also meaningful in measuring student understanding. How do we ensure reliability? Reliability refers to the consistency of assessment results. To ensure reliability in assessments, consider the following strategies. Use well-defined criteria and rubrics that minimize ambiguity in evaluation, leading to more consistent grading. Provide training for educators on using rubrics and criteria to ensure that all evaluators apply them consistently. Compare assessments and results across different classes or institutions to identify any discrepancies in standardized practices. Use various assessment methods to triangulate data and confirm that results are reliable across different formats. By ensuring reliability, educators can be confident that their assessments accurately reflect student learning over time. Essentially, effective criteria and rubrics are essential tools for meaningful assessment. By incorporating frameworks such as grasping the 6 facets of understanding, focusing on validity and reliability, educators can create assessments that promote deeper learning and provide valuable feedback for student growth. In today's educational landscape, the integration of technology has transformed how learning is assessed. Digital tools and applications are not only making assessments more efficient, but also enhancing the ways educators analyze student performance. This segment explores a variety of existing digital tools and apps that are currently available for learning assessment. Learning assessments, as we know, are the process of measuring students' knowledge, skills, and ability. It can be formative, summative, or diagnostic. Formative assessments occur during the learning process, helping educators adjust instruction based on student needs. Summative assessments evaluate student learning at the end of an instructional period. And diagnostic assessments identify student strengths and weaknesses prior to instruction. Digital tools and apps can facilitate all types of assessments, making them more efficient and effective. Google Forms is a versatile tool that allows teachers to create quizzes and surveys easily. It offers real-time feedback, making it ideal for formative assessments. Teachers can customize questions with multiple choice, short answer, and even scales. The automatic grading feature saves time, while the data analysis tools help educators interpret results effectively. Kahoot is an interactive game-based learning platform that makes assessments fun and engaging. Teachers can create quizzes that students answer in real time, promoting competition and collaboration. The immediate feedback and visually appealing interface motivate students and encourage participation. Quizzes is similar to Kahoot but offers additional features such as homework assignments. Educators can create customized quizzes that students complete at their own pace. The platform provides detailed analytics, allowing teachers to track individuals and class performance over time. Edpuzzle enhances video learning by allowing teachers to embed questions and comments within videos. This tool enables educators to assess understanding in real time and gather data on student engagement. By analyzing responses, teachers can identify areas where students struggle and adjust their instruction accordingly. Nearpod combines interactive lessons with formative assessments. Teachers can create multimedia presentations that include quizzes, polls, and open-ended questions. The real-time data collected during lessons helps educators gauge student comprehension and adjust their teaching strategies on the fly. There have certainly been advantages to digital assessment tools entering the educational scene. Digital tools streamline assessment process, reduce the time needed for grading and feedback. This efficiency allows educators to focus more on teaching and less on administrative tasks. By incorporating gamification and interactive elements, digital assessment tools keep students engaged. This increased engagement can lead to higher retention and understanding of material. Digital tools provide valuable data that can inform instruction. Educators can analyze trends in student performance, identify areas where students struggle, and tailor their teaching strategies accordingly. Despite the benefits, there are challenges to consider when integrating digital assessment tools into the classroom. Not all students have equal access to technology, which can create disparities in assessment. Educators must ensure that students can participate in assessments whether through school-provided devices or alternative methods. Both educators and students need training to effectively use digital tools. Ensuring that all users are comfortable with the technology is essential for successful implementation. With increased data collection comes the responsibility of protecting student privacy. Educators must be aware of data security practices and comply with regulations like FERPA to safeguard student information. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the tools available for learning assessments. Innovation in artificial intelligence and adaptive testings and analytics will further enhance the effectiveness of digital assessments. Educators must remain open to new technologies and adapt their practices to meet the changing landscape of education. Digital tools and apps for learning assessment offer numerous advantages, including improved efficiency, increased engagement, and data-driven insights. However, challenges such as accessibility, training, and data privacy must be addressed to maximize potential. By embracing these technologies, educators can enhance their assessment practices and ultimately improve student learning outcomes. Let's take a moment to look at how one app, Snorkel, can help enhance assessment practices. Please visit my website to view the video on the Snorkel introduction. In their insightful work, Wiggins and McTighe provide educators with essential frameworks for designing effective assessments. Chapter 7 and 8 in their book, Understanding by Design, dives into critical components that enhance learning and assessment practices. Here, we summarized the key points and concepts that are pivotal for educators. Wiggins and McTighe encourage educators to consider 3 core questions when developing assessments. These questions guide educators in aligning their teaching strategies with desired outcomes. Utilizing authentic tasks are integral in effective assessment. They require students to apply their knowledge and skills in real-world contexts. This approach helps in assessing not just what students know, but how they can use that knowledge in practical situations. The GRASP model aids in designing assessments that are meaningful and engaging. For instance, when creating an assignment, educators should define clear goals, assign roles, identify the audience, outline the situation, specify what students need to perform, and establish standards for success. We also highlighted the 6 facets that characterize deep understanding. These facets encourage educators to assess not only student knowledge, but also the ability to connect and apply learning in various contexts. Establishing clear criteria is essential for fair and effective assessment. Criteria should be specific, transparent, and aligned with learning goals. Enabling students to understand what is expected of them. Validity ensures that results reflect students' true understanding and abilities, making it a cornerstone of effective evaluation practices. In the modern classroom, digital tools play a significant role in assessment. These tools can facilitate real-time feedback, enhance engagement, provide diverse methods for students to demonstrate their learning. Utilizing technology can streamline assessment process and make it more accessible. Ultimately, Wiggins and McTighe's chapters 7 and 8 provide valuable insight into creating assessments that not only are effective, but also meaningful for the students. And by focusing on all these aspects, essential questions, authentic tasks, frameworks like GRASPs and the 6 facets, and utilizing digital tools, educators can enhance the experience of learning and better evaluate student progress.